GM Andrew Berry, shout out Baker Mayfield. You know when you get into the club and you just got to shout everybody out? That's what I'm doing right now.
You're acting your age right now. Get off the mic. Pass the drink. That's me, the old head.
I'm going to get off the mic. So, Marcellus, let me know. Are you convinced that the Browns' future is bright?
Oh, no. Can't trust it. Public enemy. No. Look, let me stop. I'm too hype on this because Baker Mayfield's in the building. When we talk Baker Mayfield, you and I, we activate like Wonder Twins. Form love and hate on Baker Mayfield. Here's the thing. I trust Kevin Stefanski's Cleveland Browns. I really do. His impact in year one, it's already documented, so I don't need to go down that path. But if Baker Mayfield is the driver, not shotgun, not riding in the backseat, not in the trunk where he's been sometimes as well, if Baker Mayfield is driving this same car down this road, I don't trust where it's going. And I'm going to tell you why. When you look at this, Kevin Stefanski actually told on himself. He gave me coaches speak. This is the first time I looked at Kevin Stefanski sideways. Now, remind you, Alex Van Pelt, my former teammate, is the offensive coordinator there, did a tremendous job. Baker Mayfield had his best year. And all of that still is not enough to convince me that he's a franchise quarterback and his team is heading in the right direction with Baker Mayfield driving. Okay. Kevin Stefanski comes out and says, quote, I think you saw growth from him as a player from the first game to the last. Now, you would take that on at face value, as you should. Like, yeah, we saw Baker Mayfield mature right before our very eyes, on and off the field.
Yes, sir.
But then, you know me, Acho, I'm a literalist. Like, I really listen to every word. I listen to everything you say. Boy, I'm mad at myself sometimes for listening to everything you say. But I took this quote and I started to digest it. And I said, self, that's a lie. I saw Baker Mayfield week one. I saw Baker Mayfield last week. That dude went through a roller coaster ride, and I don't even know if it landed higher than it started. Let's talk about this. I'm going to give you a full screen right now. And to tell you what this full screen is about, it's about Baker Mayfield, how he started this season according to Kevin Stefanski, and how he finished the season according to Kevin Stefanski better. Tell me if this tells you Baker Mayfield better. His first game was against the Baltimore Ravens. They got smacked, 38-6, right? Remember that? Now, with a game that starts at 53.8 completion percentage, you would think you could do no worse. Oh, but Baker Mayfield found a way. Not only once, but twice to play worse games than that by completion percentage. What? When the bar is that low, like the bar and the ground are married to each other, he still found a way twice to be worse than 53.8%. Okay, whatever. Let's move on to yards. Nobody gives a damn about yards, except maybe your team if you're trying to move up and down the field. Whatever. He starts off with 189 passing yards in week one. 5 other games, he was worse than that? Hold on. We're not saying he started off at a 400-yard passing game like Dak Prescott. We're talking about 189. You have 5 games worse than that? Okay, let's move on. Forget that. Passing touchdowns, 1. That's pretty low, too. I mean, the only thing lower is 0. Well, you have 4 games worse than that in terms of performance. Man, move, Marcellus. You're starting to hurt. Passer rating, 65, which is almost 30 points lower than league average. He started there. Stefanski makes me believe he never was as bad as that. Twice he was. And last but not least, turnovers. And this is the tricky one. Because I know Acho loves to come up here and talk about his touchdown-interception ratio. But Acho, turnovers aren't created equal. Guess what? There are interceptions and there are also fumbles. This dude stopped throwing interceptions and start fumbling the football. So Kevin Stefanski, stop lying to the people. This guy started off 9-3, ended up to finish the season 3-3, 500 player. And where he is right now, I don't know, but I would love to vacation with him because Kevin Stefanski, as much as I trust you, I can't trust every word and I can't trust your direction if Baker Mayfield is driving.
I like the take, Marcellus. You came out and you threw some great punches, and I respect
body
it.
blow, body blow.
I'm going to use your own words against you. You are so far in the forest, sir.
You can't see them trees.
That you cannot see the trees. So I don't necessarily care that much who a driver is when I'm on a road trip, as long as the GPS works.
GPS.
As long as the GPS works, I don't really care if it's my sibling that can't drive.
Oh, really?
Because all I need you to do is trust the GPS. So if you can drive, and if the driver's license is renewed, then I'm not tripping. Follow the GPS. Baker Mayfield, I trust you driving, particularly if Kevin Stefanski, your GPS system is working and calibrated. But beyond that, Marcellus, Wiley, we have to talk about the other thing is, how can you not trust the Browns' future and the Browns' future being bright when this team is talented, but the only thing that exceeds their talent is the lack of age? Uh-oh, I'm going somewhere, sir.
Oh, they're young.
Yeah, they're young.
You trust young drivers? Insurance companies don't.
I trust young ascending talent, especially
well, you charge them as they ascend, too. We tax their ass.
Let's look at the Browns, bro.
Okay.
Look at the Browns star players, and y'all can bring it up as I talk about it.
Right.
Matt Wilson, the linebacker that hit Patrick Mahomes, knocked him out, 22. Denzel Ward, 23. Baker Mayfield, 25. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Myles Garrett, all 25. Then you got their 3 all-pro offensive linemen, Jack Conklin, 26. Teller, 26. Batonio, 29. Jarvis Landry, 28. This team is extremely young.
They are.
And they are extremely hungry. The only way you could not see the Cleveland Browns as having a bright future is if somehow, some way, you decide to put sunglasses on, or let me give you a better analogy.
Okay.
You know when you go to sleep, or you're trying to go to sleep, and at first it's extremely dark after you turn off the lights in your room. You can't see nothing. You can't see nothing. But you leave your eyes open for long enough, and your eyes begin to calibrate or adjust to the certain dimness that's in your room. The only way, Marcellus, that you can look at the Browns and say their future is not bright is if your eyes begin to adjust to just how bright this season was.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Because you
line.
might look at next season and the Browns go 9-7, disgusting travesty, even if they still make the playoffs, because your eyes have now adjusted to just how bright these Cleveland Browns are. But there's no way that you can look at the Browns' youth in their roster, look at the talent plus the youth in their roster, look at the success under their first-year head coach in Kevin Stefanski, and say that their future is not bright.
Really? I'm not riding anywhere with you. Like you said yesterday, why drive when you can fly? Guess what? I'm not taking a road trip with no 16-year-old driver. Hell no, I don't care. You got your license, your driver training certificate. Get out my face, youngster, because you're not experienced enough. But I like your argument. You know me. I like to follow people's arguments and try and get them with their own words. Carson Wentzs is young. How'd that turn out this year for a young quarterback that had tremendous success before? Better success than even Baker Mayfield. Jared Goff was young, still is young. How's that working out for Jared Goff right now? I could continue, but I think you get my point. As Big Rube from Dungeon Family said, let's look deeper than that. Are you an outcast? You'll find that reference later. Here's the thing. Let's look deeper and use Acho's words. Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback with bottom 10 perception. I repeat, America. Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback with bottom 10 perception. And then you look at him as his rankings show that he's not top 10 in anything. Completion percentage, nope. He's 30th. 24th in yards per game, 18th in yards, 17th in yards per attempt, 15th in passer rating, 12th in passing touchdowns, and he shares touchdowns at 10, so that means you're not really 10 by yourself. Okay, so Acho, I need you to understand that when I'm looking at you being my franchise quarterback, the first thing I need is consistency.
Okay.
I need your ability to be there, but you wouldn't even be in this conversation. You didn't have the ability. I am never going to slight Baker Mayfield like he can't play the game of football. The dude can play football, except he plays football like this, and then as soon as you start believing in him up there, he's going to play football like here. Then you start counting him out. Then he's going to go right back to here. He's a yo-yo. And I'm tired of the yo-yoing by Baker Mayfield. Look at this inconsistency, big dog. You can see him go out there. And his best games of the year, followed by some of his most mediocre performances. Week 7, 22 of 28, 5 touchdown passes. And a win over the Bengals. What happened the next week? 12 of 25, 122, 62 passer rate, no touchdowns. Okay, whatever. Week 13, 25 of 33, 334. What happened week 14? Sub 60 completion percentage, interception, and a loss to the Ravens, 87 rating. Dog, I hate to do this to this dude because you keep asking me these same questions that give you the same exact answer, which is Baker Mayfield. Until you can show stability, consistency, you're not getting behind the wheel. Certainly, I'll let you even ride shotgun. You got talent around you, young talent, but you are not the driver.
But you have to understand, and we're not talking specifically about Baker Mayfield. We're saying, are Baker Mayfield's Browns?
Well, he's the quarterback.
Their future bright?
Yeah.
Yes, he's the quarterback, but
he has to grow.
Let's look at everything he's conducting.
Okay.
So, again, some things are opinionated, some things are factual.
Okay.
I think the issue at hand is you are adjusting your expectations based upon a certain criteria that teams are hitting. What's my point?
Yeah, go there. Just say it with your chest, dog.
Carson Wentzs, what's going on with him and the Eagles? Let me remind you, Eagles had a 6-win season. Eagles had a 7-win season. Eagles go to the Super Bowl. Eagles have a 9-win season, and then this year, all hell is broken loose. Compare the 9-win seasons, the two of them after the Super Bowl, to the 6 and the 7-win seasons, the two of them before the Super Bowl. That's still a bright future. But your calibration and your eyes are saying, you know what, this isn't bright because they've gone to a Super Bowl. My point is this. Let's talk about other teams who have had new head coaches and they've gone from bad to great.
Okay.
Matt Nagy, Chicago Bears. They go 5-11. He shows up, they go 12-4. They've made the playoffs 2 out of the last 3 years. But let a Bears fan tell it, the Bears are terrible. No. Don't adjust your expectation to what you were because the Bears haven't lost more than 8 games since Matt Nagy showed up. But the 4 years prior to him showing up, lost 12 games, lost 11 games, lost 12 games, lost 10 games. So don't just calibrate your eyes.
So it's a relative to Cleveland conversation again.
It has to be a relative to future. The future can only be bright depending on your past now. The future your past dictates how bright your future is. Sir. Think about this, Sal. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Fool.
If I was broke,
you were broke. Then you said you were broke till you were 5. Why are you lying to people? You told me this.
I'm saying, Marcellus.
You said you were broke.
If I was broke, then coming into money makes my future bright. If I only made $50,000 a year, then $100,000 a year salary is a bright future.
Yes,
but $100,000 to you?
Yeah.
Is poverty right now. So the past, it dictates your future. You can't say that the Browns' future, if they win 9 games or 10 games, isn't bright.
Hey, keep my pockets out these streets.
It's on the internet.
I will say this. Let me stop sweating because I'm over here laughing and also hot that you don't understand where I'm coming from. And I'm saying this with no malice. I'm just trying to do my job and do it well. You can't be league average and call yourself a franchise quarterback. You just can't.
Don't do this, Sal. Don't do this.
Okay. You know what? You can be. You know why? Because if you play against yourself, you play Cleveland versus Cleveland every week, you can be league average all you want. But the problem is you're going to play against other quarterbacks that aren't league average. And what's going to happen to you? You're going to get rolled. Patrick Mahomes, who is Patrick Mahomes? I get it, y'all. Don't act like I don't see it. Went out there and beat Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield played a full game. He played half. Patrick Mahomes said, I will play half a game and still beat you. He put up 19 and dipped. And Baker Mayfield, against a backup, couldn't go past 17. You know what that tells me if I'm running a franchise? I like Baker Mayfield. I really like Baker Mayfield, but I'm not in love yet because we can't even beat a backup in the most meaningful moment. And their starter only gave them half a game, and it was still enough to beat us.
Let me say
Come on, big dog. It's a whole different animal.
I don't need you to love Baker Mayfield. I need you to respect him. And the problem right now is you're not respecting him, and as a result, you're not respecting the Browns. You say that Baker Mayfield, you talk about all these stats. How could he be franchise when he's average? Marcellus Wiley, 30 passing touchdowns and 10 or fewer interceptions. Let's just look at the quarterbacks. Let's just look at the quarterbacks that had 30-plus passing touchdowns with 10 or fewer picks. I said it yesterday, but now I'm going to show you. Aaron Rodgers, the man you just mentioned, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Herbert. That is the list, the complete list of quarterbacks with 30 passing touchdowns and 10 or fewer interceptions. All them dudes is franchise. Every one of them. Now, they're different levels of franchise.
Don't mean Baker is.
They're different levels.
And Baker doesn't have the same resume, those guys.
All them dudes is franchise. Baker had just as many wins. The only guys who had more than wins on this list, Rodgers, Mahomes, and Josh Allen.
You talking about this year, dog? Hold on. You think you got this job just because of what you did this year? Boy, stop. I would spill your beans right now because you know I've known you for years. Anyway, you built this thing up to get here, right? So now you're working with equity. Now you're working with momentum. Now the wind is at your back, brother. It's pushing you. But Baker Mayfield didn't have any wind. Last year was a sophomore slump, be real.
It was.
Okay, so you come in with no wind. And then this year you come in and you look good. You look great. And you also look bad. Just be real about this. Here's the inconsistency once again when it mattered most. We saw Baker Mayfield in the wild card round, 3 touchdowns, 115 passer rating, and beat the Steelers, slammed the Steelers. See, I give him credit. But then what happened the next week in a half against the starter when you played the whole game? Oh, Baker, 204 yards, a pick, touchdown, and a 74 rating. Acho. 95 is the threshold of average. We didn't even say good or great. We said average. This dude goes out and they go to Cabo Cancun with a 74 rating. That's my point. And you know his record when you ask him to throw the ball. 35 or more pass attempts in the game. Baker Mayfield is 5-15. You trying to tell me we can't win shootouts? We can't win games when we need you to win the game? What can we win? It's just a big pot of inconsistency until he can poke his head outside of that pot and show me that he is Baker Mayfield and going to stand on the same ground. This wavering, this seesaw effect, I'm not for it.
Here's the issue. And I think the issue and the point in which you and I differ is you were looking at this graph and you're drawing a conclusion of Baker Mayfield of, you were inconsistent last year, but now you're up here peaking. You might be inconsistent again.
What inconsistencies this year, though? I'm pointing them out.
But everybody this year had inconsistencies. I just told you about Tom Brady. He just had inconsistencies. In the game in which they just won against the Saints, he had his third worst completion percentage. So, like, even Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady, has bad games.
These lows, I'm going to continue, but
you can talk about lows, but eventually, Sel, we have to take a step back and look at the whole picture.
Yes.
Like, you're looking at things so closely that you're parsing out each and every letter, but can you look at the sentence? Because if the sentence makes sense, let's read the sentence in totality. Let's not just look at, I don't know if I like the design of that A. Oh, that H doesn't look great. Why do we put an I there? Why don't you just look at the sentence and critique the sentence as a sentence
You know
itself?
why? Because every word adds up to make a sentence. You take a word out of a sentence, guess what? It ain't a sentence. It sounds grammatically incorrect. That's the problem. So here's the thing. This is my last point. I'm not in love with Baker Mayfield. You know that. I don't hate him. I'm in like with him. You ever been in like? You ever have somebody give you that love letter? Yes, no, or maybe? Yeah, remember that one? Here's a maybe for me. I'm checking maybe for him, but not yes and not even no. But the point of it is the Browns, Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield's Browns, Kevin Stefanski Browns. Oh, the only team to make the playoffs this year, despite being outscored in the regular season, a negative point differential, and they're heading in the right direction. Boy, stop. You better check your sentences.